Okay, so for the first step on what you need to do in order to get the quadruple stack is that you will need to go into the crown shop and then search for the crate of ice cream and the flat wooden platform. They are each cost of gold and crowns, but I recommend the gold because the gold is the most cheapest way to get it, and despite the gold being 2,500 for one crate, it is worth it because why would you spend 250 crowns for 30 crates of ice cream that you're going to need? And then the wooden platform, it's for 350 crowns. Why would you spend that much on that when you can just get it for almost 1,800 gold? But once again, for the amount of crate of ice creams, you're going to need 30 of those. I have a very select via rarity, but for the very first thing you're going to do is that you are going to place your platform, and then you are going to align your crates into the top left corner. Now it does work on this left corner as well, since that's the corner you were facing, but for this top corner I'm going to be here, so I'm just going to stack all of my crates right here, and I will be back when I get a 3x3x3 done. Okay, so I did get the 3x3 done, and I did place one crop plot up there, just so that way I can get to right here. Now the large plant soil that I am planting here will be your corner piece. You will use that to determine pretty much the rest of the layout of how this quadruple stack will work. It will work with what we are doing because it's a quadruple stack. And so right now what we're doing is that we are observing that the corner of the crop plot, the corner pixel, is lining up with the edge of the crate. And so if you look closely, in order to know if a crop plot will actually place up there, because my crates are in the top left corner and the actual soil is being planted on the top left of the crates, I can position my crates to where it will plant the soil right next to the crop, despite the previous crop not touching the crates at all, but the corner pixels are touching each other. And because of that, you can line up where to put the platform at. And right here what I'm doing is that I am moving to the side so that way I can line up the pixels of the soil with the line of the boxes, so that way once again, well, not once again, but so that way I can plant the crop there. But see, as you can see, it's not perfectly, the pixels, the corner pixels are not perfectly touching each other, and because of this I had placed the flooring wrong there. And so now, since it is the top left corner, I have to adjust the entirety of the thing so that way the center pixel on the first crop there is in the middle of the first column of the crates, and it's towards the bottom section of the column if you're looking at it like the way it is right now. And because of that, that pixel that I'm pointing out here will be lined up with the edge of the crates. And once you see that, you can then plant your crop or the soil there. And because of that, it lines up perfectly now. Now, you probably will not need this soil from this point on, so I remove it, but if you choose to keep it still as a keepsake for aligning the crops, you can keep it, but for me, I'm just going to remove it. so that way it's out of my way and I don't accidentally place crops underneath it or the soil underneath it. So from this point on, what you want to do is that you want to take the platform and then move it alongside the the soil that we just planted, so that way we can align up the next crop, not crop, why do I keep saying crop? The next soil, so that way we can have half of the edges complete by now. So all that's left are the other two halves, not halves, the other two edges, and then the center. Now the center is a 2x2, so it's a, 2x2. Pretty much what fills in this right here, that's the center. And then on the other side, other two sides of the center are going to be the exact same setup as you see right here and here. Oh, well, not in here, but it will just reach across, and the ones going across each other will be 4 long. So that way, it's going to be 4 long. And as you can see here, I am positioning the crates to try and get it to align, but I am having trouble because of the other soil. So you can also turn to change your camera view to also change how you position the platform, but also remember that if you change the platform how it's turned, you also got to keep in mind wherever the crates are, it will always be the top left. So that way you can always align it with the other soil if you keep in mind that it is the top left. For me, it may be different for you, but for me it was the top left this time. So now that I can see that the crates are perfectly in line, I can place a soil and I can see that the soil's in line. Excuse me. And the only time a soil will plant, if you are looking at the middle section of the crate, it will not work on any other crate except the middle one. So always hover over the middle one, and if it does not line up with the pixels touching each other like they are here, then you have probably messed up somewhere. But I will speed this along to where I have completed the top row. See you guys there. Alright, we're back, and I am just finishing up the top layer of the quadruple stack potato farm. And you have made it through the first fourth, well, not first fourth, but one of the 4 sections of the farm. Congratulations. And now it's time to work on the 3rd layer. Now in order to work on the 3rd layer, you must first remove the 3rd layer of crate, and the keybinds that I'm using, it is E to pick up, not E to pick up, it is K to pick up and move. E picks up the item and throws it in your inventory. G opens up the gardening menu, and then H opens up the housing menu. Now, because of that, those are the shortcuts that I use, so that way I can navigate faster. But I should have probably explained this at the beginning, and I am sorry about that. But oh yeah, if you try to make a mistake on the platform and you accidentally misclick the placement, or you have moved the the platform to an area you don't want, just right click and it will automatically throw the platform back. Now, this is what you're seeing right now is the overall of what it's going to look like from the top view, but there will be, obviously there will be soils underneath that you will be able to see, but this is what it will generically look like. Okay, so I went ahead a little bit and removed the third layer of the crates here, just for video purpose. But what you can do is that you don't even have to move the platform from the last location of where you hit the farmland. So that way, as soon as you remove the crates, you can instantly place it, and you can use that as a guide for the rest of your third or second layer, depending on how you look at it. And then you can pretty much just move the platform around to the liking. Now, keep in mind, like, not keep in mind, but still remember that it is the top left corner, so you will still have to get the top left corner of the crates underneath the exact same spot, which should be simply easy since now you can just walk up here because of that third or second layer, once again depending on how you look at it, is underneath the fourth one. So, you know, because that's there now, you can just easily walk up on the fourth layer and get that vision that you need in order to get on top. Now, since I have made the first two, and going off of what you can get from the level 4 or the first layer that we've made, I will go ahead and speed through the second layer we are building here. And I will see y'all in a minute. Welcome back, and I am finishing up the second layer here. And from this point on, it is pretty much fill it in and go down a layer, fill it in, go down a layer, fill it in. So when I finish this, excuse me, when I finish this second layer here, keep following the instructions for the, pretty much whenever you started on 4 and then you went down to 3, that's pretty much what you're gonna do once you start on 3, go down to 2, and then once you go from 2 to 1, and then, well, from 2 to 1, it's different. So I'm going to skip until that point. And then if you need to, pause the video here in order to complete the farm of the 3 layers that you are currently building. And a tip here, the third layer towards the bottom will be either the easiest or the hardest layer, depending on if you are wearing a mount, not wearing a mount, depending on if you're on a mount or not, because I had a demount off of my mount in order to see better. But I will skip ahead now, and I will see you in a minute. And welcome back, guys. I'm just finishing up the third row here. Oh, I missed 2 spots. Oh well. But if you were also confused about the third layer here, you can probably get a little help from this last remaining section here. So, like, as you see, there's only 1 row of boxes, and I'm lining it up to where the corner pixels, or the corner pixels are aligned there. And the reason why that half of the, well, as you see here, the half of that plot is on the half of those 2 crates, is since the plot is at the top left, you have to put the crates a little bit underneath the previous plot if you're moving forward like that. But if you're moving backwards, you have to align it to where the corner piece is on par with the crate corner. Now I'm just screwing up here, but not there. Well, they did change the button controls, so that's what the photomancy opening. But since now you are on the final layer, congratulations. And since you are on the final layer, all you have to do is line up the you have to line up the plot with the ones that are on the higher tiers, and that is how you would finish that up. And then that would be how you do a quadruple couch potato farm. Now in a minute I will show you how to get get the, well, not how to get the, but how to position the items in the middle in order to reap what the rewards are, and so pretty much get rid of all of the crops needs on how to do that. So I will skip to that right now. Welcome back, and for those last 3 crates that I told you to purchase, you are going to use here, because in the very center of the garden here, it looks like a little space, but because of that space there, well, how the garden is made, you are able to place crates in the center of it. And if you can get your camera view just right and the mouse click just right, as I struggle here a couple times, but if you see right here, you can line it up and click the crate imp in there, then you can just stack the crates. Now this is where you can also place the garden gnome, or not the litter, because the litter won't work, but the sandwich station. You can fit that on there as well with the gnome. And for the litter, you'd probably have to place it on one side and then on the exact opposite side of the farm, since it won't reach, sadly. But if you also need, if the couch potatoes do need a seed or a plant that is of small quality, it's been a while since I've planted it, so, but you can plant it on top of that and then remove the crate and then put the gnome below it, and as well with the sandwich station. But how we will get the spells to work off of this is that what will happen is that if we line this up correctly, hold on, where's the spell at? Stop stacking. Yes, I shall continue to stack. Alright, so for the spell Bug Bolt, it has the same radius as any other large spell. And if you see here, that second crate, what you want to do is you want to position it to where it's in the middle. And if you don't know if it's in the middle or not, walk forward and then backwards. And then as you're walking backwards, see if the blue ring is in the middle between the second and third layer of the crops like you see here. So that way then you're able to get all 4 layers, because if you position it too close to the bottom or too close to the third row, it will only get the bottom 2 rows, the bottom 3 rows, or the top 3 rows. Now if you position it like how it is here, how it's more towards the top there, like I said, it would only get those top 3 and it would miss the entirety of the bottom, causing you to spend maybe 45 more elixir, which really sucks. But what we're trying to do here is save elixir by planting 12 more seeds at a time. Now that's essentially how the skills work, not skills, how the spells work. And I will skip to where I test the skill on whether or not it works, because there is a range difference, not difference, but there's a range disturbance on the far end because we are on one side of the crate, so I will skip until that moment. Alright, welcome back. I have just planted a ninja fig because that is the only thing I had in my inventory that would fit a large plot. And as we will test here, I will test to see a Bug Bolt will work on the crate here to see if it would get that last part. And because with how the mouse moves, if you have the spell lined up and you don't move your mouse, the spell will stay in that spot where your mouse was. And see how I'm looking here, how it looks like that the seed is inside the blue circle. I just click without moving my mouse, and yep, the spell hits the seed. And that confirms that the spell hits the entirety of the area, and that's it. You have just made a working 48 plot couch potato farm of a quadruple stack. Feel proud of you. Not of you, of yourself. As well as being proud of yourself, thank you for sitting through this 21 minute tutorial on how to build a quadruple stack potato farm. And thank you for watching.